Okay, so the goal of our game was to avoid all the red squares that are moving in certain directions and reach the blue safety zone that's at the bottom of the screen. And ultimately the goal of the game is to finish all 3 levels and also the secret level that we had at the end. And some of the features that we had on our application was its touch controls. And also we have a retry screen, so whenever you do hit one of the red blocks, it allows you to choose to retry that level or go back to the main menu. And also we had the Easter egg, which leads you to the secret levels. And we also had the option of a levels page on the main menu, which gives you the option to choose whichever level you want to play. So like I said previously, how do you play the game? You drag the green ball at the top of the screen and you dodge the red squares. And you have to ultimately get to the blue square safety zone at the bottom of the screen.
Okay, despite how simple the game sounds, we actually had a lot of problems trying to code it. Like, one of the main problems that we had was that when you go to the retry screen, there was a problem where when you took the blocks, since they're moving, they were moving in the, well, when you move to the retry screen, they're still moving in the background. So when you touch a block, you'll go to the retry screen, but then in the background, it'll still keep hitting the blocks, so the retry screen will keep appearing and appearing. We solved that problem by asking one of the TAs, Chris over here, and by asking him, he told us that we should close the screen every time that we touch the block. So once we coded all that back in, we eventually solved that problem. Another short problem that we had was the screen height. Since our background was black, you could easily see that if you didn't have the screen height, the correct height, you could see a small white space down there. So after a few tries of trying to configure the screen height, we eventually, well, it's not perfect, but it's manageable. One of the early problems that we had also was that after we finished the first level, there was like, it wasn't a lot of code, but it was all of our basic codes that we used as a reference. So when we went on to the second level, we went back to check the first level, and all the code just disappeared for some reason. We don't actually know why, but it was just gone. And then it took about 30 minutes because since the code was deleted and it was kind of corrupted and everything, it wouldn't start, the app wouldn't start, and we had to find out what was going on with it. But eventually, after help with some TAs, we eventually found the problem. Other small problem that we had was collision detection, where some of the blocks wouldn't, when they're moving, they wouldn't bounce correctly, and they would just like either keep going or they would just stop and it wouldn't do anything. But once again, once you look through the code and then we found out where we didn't have the code in, that's where we solved the problem. And one of the last major problems that we had was that we had a lot of screens. We had around 12 screens, I believe. And since we had 12 screens, we had to package, to check if each screen transitioned from one to the next easily, we had to package it each time, and every time we packaged it, it would take forever. And yeah, it took a lot of times, and we couldn't add a lot of features that we wanted to. Okay, here's a sample code from the last level, or the secret level that we had. At the top left, it shows how we made the ball move where you just drag it around. The left side, the rest of the left side is showing how the blocks bounce off the screen, so you can see, so they won't just keep going and going, they'll just keep going around the screen. At the bottom here is a clock timer, so once the once the clock interval ends, the level would end and you pass. And on the right side is all the code that shows that once you touch a red block, you go to the retry screen.
And again, a problem that we had was the retry screen kept on appearing, so we closed the screen in order to fix that problem.
Here's a demo.
Oh my gosh, it's hard. Oh my god. Cheater. Oh. Shoot. Wow. Ah, good one. I like that one.
Firework. And it's from the Impossible game.
What?
It's a Newground song.
So thank you for watching, and that's the end of our presentation.